problems in today. The other frozen stiff. Thank goodness it's getting warmer. However, there is a distinct chill in the air today. Really, I didn't notice it.
Yes, I think my wife was correct. There's a definite chill in the air.
Oh, can I get you anything else?
No, thank you, Stella. We'll be fine for now.
All right.
You seem calm this morning.
Only in the president's help.
They could hear you clear across the harbor last night. You screamed like a fishwife.
And you think my anger was unjustified, Al? I learned that my husband is having an affair. And his mistress has given birth. So now he has an illegitimate son. So when I plan for a divorce, he storms into this house and proceeds to call me every name in the book.
All of which you earned. Now I suggest that we forget about last night and we start discussing a divorce in a civilized manner.
I'm not discussing anything. All the talking is going to be done through my attorney.
Then I suggest that you tell your attorneys they're going to be facing the best lawyers that money can buy. And you better be ready for enormous fees, Monica, because a nasty divorce like this can go on for a long time. Now, what normally happens is one of the parties drops out because they go broke.
Well, that certainly wouldn't happen to you.
That's correct.
Well, then I shall just face bankruptcy with joy. Because while we're battling it out, I shall sit back and watch your reputation just crumble.
I should watch out for your own reputation, Monica. Your skirts are filthy from rolling in the gutter. Now, let's cut it out. Let's come to terms with each other and stop trying to hurt other people.
Well, it isn't just your reputation I'm after, you see. Susan and her baby are also going to be my targets.
Then I'm sure the world will love to hear the heartwarming story of how I found out that my son indeed was my son. That you try to tell me belonged to Rick Weber. Come on, Monica, come off it. How are you going to get the press to print what you want?
Well, probably by paying a lot of money.
I can pay them more.
Alan, you are the most despicable...
Next to you, Monica. Next to you.
So, Slick, how'd you weather the storm?
Don't ask me, because you won't believe me.
Ah, try me.
Okay. At first... Anyway, let me tell you the story. I wound up in the mission. Remember one time Luke was hiding out in that mission? Where the guys, the bums and everything, they sing hymns?
Well, I didn't know you were religious, Slick.
Well, it wasn't that. I went there to get warm, right? And when I got there, you know, to get out of that cold. When I got there, I started saying prayers. But I wasn't faking it. I mean, I was really saying prayers. And that was some freeze, come on.
Yeah, I guess that bizarre weather changed a lot of people's lives.
Yeah, but that's no excuse for looking lost. Sorry.
What do you mean?
Ah, come on. I mean, we were freezing here. They're running around an island there eating nuts and fruits and getting tans. Come on. We're freezing here. Now they come back. I ask you this. When they come back, do they look up old Slicker? The answer, no.
Hey, they've been busy.
Come on with busy. Big heads. That's what it is. Big heads. I know it.
No, I don't think so.
Well, I'd like to not think so either. I never figured Luke for a guy who would ignore his friends. I never figured him for a guy who would get a big head. But, hey, that's life. People get big heads, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I guess you're right, Slick. You know, now he's hanging around with Robert Scorpio and that actress Tiffany somebody.
Yeah, somebody is right. And Laura better watch her potatoes. Because, you know, hey, Luke could be one of those guys, you know, that just...
I thought we were going to keep the low life out of here, Rose. Hey, baby. Oh, good to see you.
Thank you.
Hi.
How are you? You owe me $4.95, and that's without a tip, okay?
What?
And I'll tell you something else, sport. It ain't that great. It ain't that much of a thrill to see you. I'll tell you
Is that right?
And where's Laura?
Where's Laura?
Hey, you son
What
of
are
a
you
gun,
caring-
you bum, you.
Hey, man. Good to see you.
Oh, Lee, I'm sorry. I was just looking for Joe, and I thought maybe he would...
Is my secretary here?
No, I guess she's not.
Well, can I help you?
No, I was looking for Joe.
Well, he's gone to state prison to see Toby, something about Hutch.
I see.
Can I take a message?
No, thank you. That's all right. Lee, I'm going to Mexico as soon as possible to see Scotty.
All right.
Is there anything you'd like me to tell him for you while I'm there?
Well, yes, of course. You tell him I'm worried about him. That I would like to have his address, not to bug him, just for the simple pleasure of knowing where he is in Mexico. That I am ready to help him any way I can. And while you're at it, Laura, an honest apology from you to my son wouldn't be out of place. Now, excuse me, I'm going to meet Gail.
Slicker, you left a crumb there.
I know, my mother taught me the polite thing is to always leave something in your plate.
Yeah, well, you leave a mouse with a star.
Good, let him starve.
Baby.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Hi, Slick.
Hey, how you doing,
I'm
sweetheart?
okay. How are you?
I'm terrific. Why didn't you write postcards, something?
A postcard. Oh, I don't know. I guess it just slipped my mind. I was too busy picking bananas and chasing monkeys and doing crazy
You look
things like that. Hi.
terrific.
Hi.
How are you? Okay. Are you okay? You look a little pale.
Well, it's this cold weather, I guess.
Hey, we got rid of it as soon as we could now.
No, sure. Hey, let me get you some coffee.
Oh, great. Thanks.
Listen, tell me, you know, in the papers it talks about this Mikos guy and his brothers.
Yeah.
And what they wanted to do. They wanted to change the weather all over the world.
Well, yeah, they wanted to control the weather over the world. That's it.
But that doesn't seem right. I mean, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Look, I'm not a philosopher exactly, you know
No,
what I'm
but you
saying?
could write fortunes for cookies.
I could do some of that. Anyway, I don't even want to think about those nuts. What I want to know is, what are you going to do now? What's happening?
Oh, that is very simple. We have a few details to work out, and then we're going to get married. Start our life together.
The dullest life possible.
Up every day at the crack of dawn, have breakfast, take my little briefcase and go off to my little office.
Right. And then I stay home and I do some housework. You see, I dust a little bit, maybe water the lawn.
And I come home and I fix the lawnmower and the refrigerator. We'll have dinner, and then it's Slumberland.
Oh, wait a second. I think you missed something there in between dinner and Slumberland, but I'm sure we'll be able to work it out.
She's growing up.
Oh, Luke, I can't wait to get married. That's all I want to do.
Rosie, what happened?
Excuse me. Rose?
What's the matter with her?
I don't know. She doesn't
crying.
herself.
She's crying.
Rose?
Hey, forgive me, Luke. I'm really happy for you and Laura. Really, I am. But while you were gone, a lot of weird things happened. And I'm just a little on edge.
Yeah, I can see that. It's been pretty rough for you here alone, hasn't it?
Yeah, a little.
You're missing Patty,
Yeah.
and Joe's been off in Mexico.
Luke, did anybody tell you about Hutch?
No, what about him?
There was an accident. He was on his way back to prison, and there was an ambush.
What, the organization's man?
I don't know, I guess so. Anyway, he got hurt, and now he's on the run, and
Looks like we're about even, aren't we? I can do as much damage to you as you can do to me.
Well, my, I got a rational response out of you.
Except for one thing.
Ah, there's something I don't know about.
Exactly. Your father happens to be on my side.
Oh, really? Would you like to tell me why?
My name is Quartermaine. I don't like it. I mean, I'd love to drop it, but you see, at the moment, it seems to be working a lot better for me than the name Susan Moore. And your father is going to be on the side of the Quartermaine wives, rather than mistresses.
Good morning. Well,
Morning, Mother.
what a disappointing sight. A New York autumn and no lovely russet colors.
Listen, let me call Stella.
Yeah, no, please don't. Coffee will be fine. I'm really not hungry.
How are you, darling? I'm so sorry. I didn't see you last night. I came by your bedroom and you were asleep.
Well, it was a very tiring flight. How is Ellen, Junior?
Oh, he's doing very well. Remarkable. I called the hospital, but actually, I want to see for myself.
Would you excuse me? Of course, darling.
Dad get home all right?
Yes, early this morning by ambulance. He's resting now, but he looked fine to me.
Yes, well, it wasn't anything very serious, just a mild upper respiratory infection.
Oh, good, I'm glad. The weather, no doubt.
Yes.
Alan, I want to talk to you. I couldn't help hearing...
I wish I were a poet.
Well, you're not.
Well, I can always wish. It's much nicer weather than we've been having, right?
Yes, sit down, Dad. I'll get Stella.
No, thank you. Don't bother. They gave me something they called a breakfast before they released me.
Where's Alex?
Look, Mother, we've got some news about Alex. It's It's not good.
Well, what happened?
I don't know how to tell you this, Mother. We've lost her.
Lost her? I don't understand.
She was involved in a dreadful accident on an island off the coast of Venezuela. And I'm afraid she's dead, Mother.
Dead? Oh, no, Alan, no.
I'm afraid it's true, dear.
Oh, my lovely, beautiful Alex. How terrible.
We'll arrange a memorial service for her, Mother. There's nothing else we can do.
Yes, do that. I'd like to see my family together again. Perhaps it'll be for the last time.
Better?
I'm sorry, Luke.
Hey, there's nothing to be sorry for, Rose.
I know it's confusing.
Well, don't worry about that.
I started taking Mike Phelan to the hospital for therapy on his leg.
Oh, at the hospital. That's when you ran into Hutch?
That's right, but just from time to time I was doing volunteer work there.
I get the picture.
No, you don't. Not really. I couldn't even stand to look at him at first because of what happened to Patty and also what he did to you and Laura last summer.
Now, wait, Rose. He had nothing to do with Patty's death.
And he was part of the organization that killed Patty.
Yeah, all right, he was.
But somehow he got to me. I saw something in his eyes. He was facing death, and he knew it. One way or the other, he knew it, and he was resigned to it. And yet he had hope. He was so brave.
Look, Rosie, Hutch is a survivor. You don't have to worry. I'm sure he's okay.
When he left the hospital, we didn't even get to say goodbye. I mean, I saw him go, but we couldn't talk. And the next thing I heard, there was an accident, a shootout. Hutch had escaped, but he was hurt.
Did he come here?
No, Luke, I found him by accident in an abandoned warehouse with a bullet in his shoulder. I took care of it, and I'm not sorry for what I did, hiding him out.
Well, of course you're not.
But then when the weather warmed up, he left.
Rosa, he didn't say goodbye?
He left me a note, but, Luke, we were going to go away together.
Oh. Oh, boy. Well, look, does Joe know anything about this?
Not very much. Luke, I don't care what anybody says. People change. They change. Even somebody who's a killer. If Hutch could start all over again, he wouldn't hurt anybody. I know he wouldn't hurt anybody.
I know, baby, I know. So Joe doesn't know anything?
Well, I just told him a little bit.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
I think you should keep it that way. Don't tell him any more.
Okay.
Keep it to yourself. I mean, you know, like you said, a lot of people wouldn't understand.
Yeah.
Look, do you have some help around here anymore? What is this?
Well, Martha's getting over the flu right now.
Well, look, Spencer's got on the apron, and I can still boil a pretty bad egg, so...
Hey, I can manage, Luke.
Well, of course you can manage. I ain't worried about you managing. I want you to get some rest. You look tired. Let me just take over the old place just for today, will you? Let me do that.
Thanks. Yeah, I will. I'll take it easy, but I can't leave yet. I gotta take care of the people out front. Besides, I'm waiting to hear from Joe. He thought he might get a lead on where Hutch went if he went over to the prison and talked to Toby.
Okay.
Joe, it's good to see you. What's happening on the outside world?
You're all right, huh?
Yeah, I'm okay. What about Hutch?
Well, that's what I'm here for. That and talk about your pardon.
My pardon? It's music to my ears. Talk away.
Well, the parole board realizes that you were poisoned right at the time that you were up for consideration.
Well, yeah, that ought to make sure they should know Big Ralph and his people weren't just kidding around then.
Yeah, I think you made your point, Toby. That and the fact that you didn't help Big Ralph when they were after Hutch. I think that's working for you.
Well, when are we going to hear something?
Well, that's hard to say. Ramsey is hot on the back of the Bureau of Corrections. He thinks he's got enough ammunition to make him really clean this place up.
That's good. That's good. If this place is under suspicion, that ought to let them know that Hutch and I were telling it like it is.
That's the way I see it.
I just wish they'd hurry up. I want to get out of this place. I'm getting kind of jumpy around here.
Sure, I think you have every right to be jumpy. Just watch yourself, man, every minute.
I do. What about Hutch, though? What's happening there?
Well, Ramsey seems to think that he got out of the ambush alive.
Yeah, I know. He told me. But what's happened since then?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to find out. Listen, man, when he was in, did he ever mention anybody he might have on the outside? I mean, somebody that would be willing to help him?
No, Hutch was pretty quiet most of the time.
But he did talk some of the time.
Well, only about Laura Baldwin and a guy by the name of Luke Spencer.
You won't forget that. I can't forget it. What if I got those 2 Afghan dogs? Them one.
I don't know.
I just... When I'm laughing, it's a lot of the time.
Oh, there he is, my guy.
Emma!
Just to see our guy.
Aren't you a real-life hero?
Yeah. How's your husband, Emma?
Oh, he's just so sulky. You know, he's been reading all those things about you in the newspapers. He's just trying to understand. I mean, just imagine, Luke. I mean, he had that ice princess right in his hand, and he didn't even know it, right? And so now he feels kind of left out.
Oh, yeah. Well, we just so he doesn't get angry. We don't want your husband or anybody that we care about to be angry.
Well, you know, I usually can control him, Luke.
Yeah, well, why don't you control yourself, Emma, and sit down. I'll get you a beer.
Don't get all steamed up, Laura.
Okay.
All that messing around that Luke was doing with Emma was business. Strictly business.
Well, Emma never thought so.
Oh, well, you see, to get the Ice Princess, I mean, look, he had to pitch a little woo, that's all.
He had a what?
He had to pitch a little woo.
What's that?
That's an expression, a new expression that I got from the docks. It's nothing. You shouldn't worry about it.
Mother, I can't tell you how sorry I am to have brought this bad news to you. Alex's body will be flown home. We'll bury her here in Port Charles.
That beautiful young girl.
I think you'll feel better after a memorial service. Shall we keep it just in the family?
I think that's best.
But Alex had so many friends.
Lila, she was first and foremost a businesswoman. You can't be as successful as Alex was and still have very many friends. In fact, she was involved in some very unsavory things before she left. If the world doesn't know about it now, it very soon will.
I see. Just another of those little items to be tucked away in the Quartermaine closet.
Exactly.
I can't help but wonder in what state Alex left the family finances.
Yes, and who will inherit her ELQ stocks?
She must have had a will. Do you know anything about it?
Oh, please. Must we have this discussion?
I'm afraid so, Lila.
You tell me all this bad news, and then you go on to talk about money.
Well, I was fond of Alex, too. Very fond. But money is money. I have to talk to Lee Baldwin at once.
Would you like tea?
No, Laura does not influence where I go. I'm starved for breakfast, honey.
Okay, then we'll stay.
Yes.
All right.
Good morning.
Luke, good morning.
Would you care for this window here, table here by the window?
Oh, well, actually, I don't know that I'm really that hungry.
Any table is just fine, Luke.
All right, how about this one?
Fine.
Thank you. Well,
I got that covered.
where's Rose?
Rose is in the back. Apparently the deep freeze kind of laid her a little low.
Oh, well, I heard she did a tremendous job here at Kelly's.
Yes, I heard she did. Yes, sir. I heard she did, too, but, I guess it kind of wore her out.
Yeah. Well, that was a wonderful article about you in the paper this morning. Really, it was, so unbelievable.
It was a little embarrassing, to tell you the truth.
Well, I didn't get much of a chance to see you at the hospital the other day to say welcome home, but, consider it sad.
Thank you.
Have a breakfast menu?
This is the only menu we have, Mr. Baldwin. Breakfast would be under eggs. Kelly's Diner.
Luke, is that you?
Well, Mr. Quartermaine.
What are you doing there?
Slinging hash.
After all the money I paid you?
Is there anything I can do for you, Mr. Quartermaine?
Well, Lee Baldwin's office said that I might find him there.
Yes, he's here. Would you hold on? I'll get him for you. Mr. Baldwin, excuse me. Edward Quartermaine on the phone for you.
Oh, all right.
Anyway, that's the way it is. They do play baseball, and they are cute.
I think that my in-laws wish that I just dropped dead.
Don't worry about it. They're going to be your former in-laws very soon.
Yes, Edward?
Oh, Lee, you know about Alex, of course.
Oh, yes, I do, and I'm awfully sorry. The World Security Bureau called me the moment they found out that I was the attorney of record. How's Lila taking?
Not well.
Oh. Well, I would have called, you know. I just felt that I shouldn't intrude.
Well, thank you, Lee, but life must go on, as we know. Tell me, did Alex leave a will?
Well, yes, of course. I'm her executive.
Yeah, well, I'm anxious to know what's in it, of course. I mean, in as much as it affects the ELQ stocks.
Well, Edward, I'll let you know as soon as I'm ready to make it public.
Make it soon, Lee?
I'll do my best, and I'll keep in touch.
Thank you, Lee. Goodbye.
Bye.
You don't look very happy.
Edward wants me to hurry up the reading of Alex's will.
Oh. Well, Lee, isn't that rather odd? There hasn't even been a funeral service for Alex or anything.
ELQ cannot be kept waiting long, you know, my dear.
Yes, I know. Did the Security Bureau say anything about how Alex died?
No, they're very closed-mouthed about it. I got the impression that Alex died on the island, along with Tony and Mikos Cassadine. But I am certainly not going to ask Laura and Luke for the details.
Well, you have every right to Alex towards your client.
I can barely stand to look at them, let alone talk to them.
I know. I know how hurt you are because of all the months that you haven't heard from Scotty.
I don't know why he wouldn't let me have the address in Mexico.
Darling, it isn't that he didn't want you to have it. It's just that he wanted to talk to Laura first, that's all, before he talked to
Well, then I wish she would
else.
get on with it and go down there. I want my son back.
Are you sure your son's going to be all right?
He's fine, Mother, really.
I want to see him. A child can be very comforting at a time like this.
So you shall. So you shall. He'll be home in a few days.
Well, Lee said that he had Alex's will.
Oh, good.
I told him to have it read as soon as possible. I'm very curious to know what she's done.
Yes.
Edward, really? What's the matter with you two? You're dismissing Alex's death as though she meant nothing to you.
Mother, that's not true.
And what was that horrible argument I heard this morning?
What argument was that?
You know what I mean. That nasty divorce that you and Monica seem determined to get.
Hello, Monica. It's good to see you again.
Good to see you.
How is your son? I hear he's been in the hospital.
Oh, thank you for asking. He's much better. Thank heavens. Scared me to death, I have to say.
I'm sure he did. Please, sit down.
Thank you.
So, tell me, what is it that brings you here?
What brings me here is that I need a lawyer with a lot of skill and a lot of courage.
Well, if you need courage as well as skill, it sounds like a difficult case.
A nasty, too, possibly.
Who's our opponent?
My husband. I want a divorce. Can you represent me?
I think so. As you know, I did at one point represent the Quartermaines, but that was quite a while back. I don't think there's a conflict of interest now.
Well, that's good. Because I need you to be totally on my side.
You know, I didn't really like it much when Edward hired me to handle a few family affairs and then dropped me. This just might be a case with a challenge I'll enjoy. What is it that you want out of the divorce?
Full custody of my son.
And how do you think that you can get that?
The fact that my husband has a mistress, that he has a child by that mistress, that he wants to marry that woman, I would think that would be grounds to give me custody of my son, wouldn't you?
Monica, the outcome of a divorce is a lot like the weather in Port Charles lately. It's unpredictable.
General Hospital will continue in a moment.